من لساني يفقهوا قولي وبيسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم الأمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair for coming. First of all, it's been an honor and a privilege for me to be with all of you again here in Iqra Academy, and we all are going to start our Seerah class again. Alhamdulillah, in our last year before the month of Ramadan, we started a new chapter in our Seerah series, and this chapter was about the marriage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha and the rebuilding of the Kaaba. We have learned about the marriage of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha, how Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was introduced to Khadija, how he worked sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he worked for Khadija radiyallahu ta'ala anha, how they both got married, what was their family like, how much love Prophet ﷺ had for his wife. And the very important question that we discuss in that discussion is that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow the sons of Rasulullah ﷺ to reach the age of maturity. They all died when they all were babies. They all died in infancy. So why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow the sons, the daughters of Rasulullah, they all got married, they all had their families, they reached the level of maturity, they reached the age of maturity. But the sons of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam were never allowed to reach that age. What was the reason behind it? What was the wisdom behind it? Alhamdulillah, we completed this discussion. Now the last story that we had before the prophethood of Rasulullah, before the nabuwwat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually began, the last story that we know is the story of the rebuilding of Kaaba. The rebuilding of Kaaba, this story took place when Prophet ﷺ was 35 years old. He got married when he was 25 years old. 10 years later, when he was 35 years old, Kaaba was damaged because of two reasons. In the year before it was rebuilt, Kaaba was damaged, it was semi-destroyed, it was partially destroyed because of two things. Number one, if anyone remembers, fire, and number two, flood. Subhanallah, two opposite things. Fire, because there was this one lady who was cooking outside near the Kaaba, near the clothing of Kaaba, and she was cooking something when ember sparked and it set ablaze, it set the clothing of the Kaaba on fire. And subhanallah, even in those days, Kaaba used to be clothed in the days of Jahiliyyah. So the fire put the entire Kaaba on blaze, and by the time they put out the fire, the Kaaba became weakened. It was not destroyed, but it was weakened. And then in the same year, a massive flood came in the city of Makkah, and that flood destroyed the roof of Kaaba. It destroyed some of the walls of the Kaaba. So both damages have been done. Fire weakened the Kaaba, the water almost destroyed the Kaaba, so they decided that we now need to rebuild the Kaaba. Now they want to rebuild the Kaaba, but they want to use the best material for the rebuilding of Kaaba. But Kaaba and Makkah is in a desert. And you don't find fancy materials in desert. You don't find wood or marble or even craftsmen in a desert. Because these people who live in desert, they don't have structures the way we have it right now. So they are not to that level, but they don't know how to build structures. So they need all of this stuff to build the Kaaba again. Now what happened in the same year, subhanAllah, the Caesar of Rome has sent some supplies to one of the cities of Yemen to build a church over there. You know, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there were two superpowers. One was Rome and one was Persia. Romans were Christians and the Persians were fire worshippers. They used to worship fire. Part of that war, what actually happened is that Persians destroyed one of the churches in Yemen. And the Caesar of Rome, he decided that he will finance from his own money, with his own money, he will rebuild that church. Now he is the Caesar of Rome, so he arranged the best material, the best wood, the best marble, the best people, and he sent them to Yemen. Now when the ship was going to Yemen, this was the plan of Allah. The ship, it was going to Yemen, and when it was traveling towards Yemen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a wind from the coast of Jeddah, that now we call Jeddah. Now we call it Jeddah. In those days it was called Jeddah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a wind off the coast of Jeddah. That wind caused that ship to crash. The ship was damaged. It hardly made it to the city of Jeddah. It was the plan of Allah. It did not drown it. The wind did not drown the ship. It still made it to the city of Jeddah. And when it's made it to the city of Jeddah, the ship was not in a condition to get them to the city of Yemen. So what they decided to do is that all the cargo that the ship had, the best material, the best wood, the best marble, the best craftsmen, they put all of these things for sale. They put all the merchandise for sale because they want to go back to their cities and they needed money. And the ship is not going to go there, is not going to get them anywhere. So they said, okay, forget about this batch. We'll sell all of this stuff. The money that we'll get, we'll use that money to go back to Rome, and then we'll get new material, and then we'll go to Yemen again. So they put everything on sale, including a craftsman. There was a Nijjar, a craftsman in that ship. So they put everything on sale. And subhanAllah, when the people of Quraysh, when they got to know about it, they gathered all of their money, they went to the city of Judah, and they purchased everything. And they hired that craftsman. And that craftsman, by the way, he has been educated where? In Arabia? He has been educated where? In Rome, which was the superpower of that time. And he has been educated there. You cannot find a more qualified person than him on the face of this earth at that time. And he ended up where? In Mecca, with the best material available. The best craftsman ended in the city of Mecca with the best material. Why? Because now he is going to build. Subhanallah. That was the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because he's going to build the Kaaba. Now they purchased everything from Judah, came back to Mecca. Kaaba is in front of them, semi-destroyed. Now they are thinking, what should we do with that Kaaba? It's not completely destroyed. It's not completely torn down. It's still there, it's partially destroyed. Some of the walls are there. Now they're thinking, what should we do? Should we tear it down? Should we destroy all of it? We haven't done something like this before in our life, and it's the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How can we destroy? If I ask you to destroy this house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, go get the hammers, go get the axes, and go get the machinery, go get the bulldozer, and raise it down to the level of the earth. Will you able to do it? Will you be able to do it? Similarly, they have these feelings. This is the house of Allah. This is the Kaaba. How can we tear it down? How can we destroy it? So they started debating, and they started discussing, should we tear it down? Should we not tear it down? According to Ibn Ishaq, one of the riwayat of Ibn Ishaq, a snake came out of the well of Zamzam. A snake. It was said that there was a snake in the well of Zamzam. It came out of the well of Zamzam, and every time they approached the Kaaba, it hissed at them. It hissed at them. So they are thinking, now what should we do? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a big bird to pick that snake and to get rid of it, to put it behind of the mountains, one of the mountains of Makkah. So now they take it as a sign that the snake which was guarding the Kaaba, it's not guarding the Kaaba anymore. So now we can go and approach the Kaaba. But they're still reluctant. They're still terrified. At the end of the day, it is Kaaba. So they're nudging each other. They're saying, you go first, you go first, you go first and break down the wall. You go first. They're nudging it. They're terrified. Until one of their chieftain, one of their noblemen, Walid bin Mughira, Allah mentioned him in the Quran as well. ذَرْنِي وَمَنْ خَلَقْتُ وَحِيدًا. He was their poet, he was their nobleman, one of the chieftain. He became the enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam later on in his life, but he was a well-reputed person in that community. Everyone knew about him. So he said, enough is enough, khalas. I'm going to go and I'm going to tear down the wall of Kaaba. I'm going to do it. So he picked up the axe and he marched towards the Kaaba and he started breaking down one of the walls of the Kaaba. The people still did not lift a finger to help him. They are still reluctant, they are still terrified. So they said to each other, let's use him as a litmus test. If he survives the night, tomorrow we will go and join him. Something happens to him tonight, then it's a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's use him as a litmus test. So he did as much work as he could do in that one day. He broke down one of the wall of the Kaaba. Went back home. Next morning, mashallah, he woke up healthy and fine. Everything is okay. So they said, okay, now we will go and join him. But first, before, they didn't help him. So now they all are working together to tear down the Kaaba. When they tear down the Kaaba, when they tore down the Kaaba, then they divided all the tribes of Quraysh, into 4 groups. There are many sub-tribes of Quraysh. So they divided all the sub-tribes of Quraysh into how many groups? 4 groups. And each group got 1 wall. Obviously there are how many walls? 4 walls. So each group get 1 wall according to their prestige, according to their respect. So for example, Banu Abd Manaf was the most prestigious group because it contains the branch of Banu Hashim. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his grandfather, his entire family is from Banu Hashim. So they are the most prestigious family, most prestigious group. So they got the most prestigious wall. The second most prestigious group was Banu Makhzum. Abu Jahl was from that group. So they got the second most prestigious wall. If you have ever been going to Makkah and if you have ever done Tawaf, Rukn Yamani, and the wall towards Rukn Yamani, which was 1/4, last 1/4 of Kaaba, it was given to Abu Jahl and the Qabila and the tribe of Abu Jahl. The other two groups got the other two walls. So therefore all get, now when they started working on the walls, when they started building the walls, Banu Abd Manaf, Banu Makhzum, let me make it easier for you. The family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the family of Abu Jahl, they are raising a corner together, all of them, they are raising a corner together which has black stone in it. Do you all know about black stone?
Yeah.
Do you know about the black stone? Hajr Aswad, the black stone. When people do tawaf, if they get a chance, they get an opportunity, they go and kiss the black stone.
Yeah.
My young brothers know about it. Small children, they know about it, right? Now they are raising the wall which has what? Black stone. So they are raising. When they reach to the level of the black stone, now the dispute happened. Now remember, black stone does not belong to either wall. It belongs to both of the walls. It belongs to both of these walls. It does not belong to either wall. So when they reach that level, the Prophet, the family of the Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the family of Abu Jahl, they put their foot down. And they said, black stone belongs to us. We are going to put the black stone. And by the way, these two families, even though they were cousins to each other, but they were rivals. And they remained rival even after Islam. Have you heard about Banu Umayyas and Banu Abbas?
Yeah.
Umayyas and Abbas, they go back to the same tribes. They remained, even though they were cousins, part of the same family, but they were rivals. So when they reached that level, the dispute happened. They both put their foot down. They said, black stone belongs to us. We are going to put the black stone. When they started fighting, two other groups, remember 4 groups? These 2 groups start fighting. 2 other groups said, why you so special? They put their foot down. They said, why should you get some special treatment? This is a special stone. We should get special treatment as well. So they put their foot down. They said, black stone belongs to us. All these 4 groups started fighting now. And the fighting between them grew so much, it reached a level that the construction of Kaaba stopped for 5 days. For 5 days they reached a level, they all were building the walls, and they reached a level where the black stone is. And when they reached that level, everything stopped. They started fighting. They almost came to blows. Banu Makhzum, the family of Abu Jahl, they actually made a secret agreement with some of the sub-tribes of Quraysh that we will fight to our death, but we will not allow anyone to put the black stone in its place except us. And they dipped their fingers in the blood to sign that agreement. You know, in those days they didn't know how to sign the agreement. They didn't know how to read and write. Remember when I talk about Hilful Mutayyibin? They dip their finger in what? When they write that when they sign that document. In the perfume, right? Hilful Mutayyibin, they put their finger, they dip their fingers in Iqra, in perfume. Here they got some camel blood, dip their fingers in the blood and sign that agreement that we will never ever allow anyone else other than us to put that black stone in its place. And subhanAllah, you can think about it, it's a Jahili mentality. You know, it's a Jahili mentality that you are ready to kill other people, you are ready to kill yourself, you are ready to make your wives widows, you are ready to make your children orphan just because of this fake honor. Now what later Arabs are going to say, what are they going to say? That we allow other people to put the stone in? This is what we call Jahili mentality. You know, nowadays you call it gang mentality. Tribalism, caste mentality. That I'm only going to marry in my caste system, or I'm only going to marry my son into Arais or into Punjabis or into, Sindhis. This is the kind of mentality that still exists to this day. They have this mentality as well, Jahili mentality. No, we are going to put it. Our tribe is going to put it. The fight became so big that they were almost ready to kill each other. But then there was this one very, very old man. He was the oldest man in the city of Makkah at that time. On the 5th day, his name was Abu Umayyah bin Mughira. That was his name. He said, enough is enough. You guys are doing nonsense. We are not going to we are not going to shed blood over this. We are not going to fight over this. So whoever comes through that door, the first person, whoever comes through that main door, he will decide who is going to put the black stone in. And by the way, there was no physical door. There was just one main entrance. They all were sitting there. And there was this one main entrance. People used that main entrance to come there and do the tawaf. This main entrance is there. This guy said to them, whoever comes through that door, the first person who comes through that door, he will decide. And everyone agrees to it. And now remember, for them it was more like a lottery system. You guys have this lottery system in UK? It was more like the lottery system, or you call it luck of the draw. Because they knew whoever will come from that door, whatever tribe he belongs to, he's going to vote for his own tribe. If you come through that door and I ask you which tribe you want to put the stone in, you're going to say your own tribe. You're going to name your own tribe. So for them, this is the understanding. Whoever walks in, whatever tribe he belongs to, that tribe is going to put the stone. That was it. Because it was humanly impossible for them that a person will vote for some other tribe other than his own tribe. It was impossible for them to think like that. And we all know the story. Who came through that door? Prophet Muhammad. At that time he was not a prophet, by the way. He was only 35 years old. He came through that door, and it is said, Ibn Ishaq mentioned the riwayat, he said that when he came through that door, every tribe was happy.
Yeah.
And this was amazing, because logically speaking, not every tribe should be happy. The only tribe that should be happy is the family of Prophet Muhammad. So that's the only tribe that should be happy, because they know that he's going to take our name. But when he walked in, every single tribe was happy. Because every single tribe used to think that he liked us the most. He's going to choose us. Even their rivals, Banu Makhzum, the family of Abu Jahl, Banu Abduddar, all these rival families, they are happy and they are excited. Oh, Muhammad came in, he's going to choose us. Because he likes us the most. This was the character of, and this is amazing if you think, in that community. Nowadays, probably people are more sensible, they are more knowledgeable, they make their decision on the basis of merit. Probably you can expect that, and not just on the basis of their families and their close relationships. But in that community, in that society, when you always take the side of your family, you always vote for your family, he walked in and everyone is happy, everyone is thinking that he's going to take our name. He's going to take the name of our tribe. 50 years later, fast forward 50 years, we have the hadith of Amr ibn al-As, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the friends of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Listen to this, guys, my young brothers. Listen to this carefully. He said, Prophet ﷺ was so nice and he was so gentle to me that I used to think that I'm his best friend. He was so nice and so gentle to me that I used to think that he's my best friend. So in front of all of his friends, just like we are sitting together, right? So all of his friends were sitting together, and I stood up, I wanted to brag. So I stood up and I said, Ya Rasulullah, who's your best friend? Who do you like the most in all of us? And without any hesitation, he said, the person that I like the most is my wife, Aisha, radiyallahu ta'ala anha. And by the way, my Desi brothers, who never like to appreciate their wives, who never like to talk about their wives, especially in front of their friends, because they think it's some kind of blasphemy, it's sacrilegious to talk about your wives in front of your friend. This is the example of Rasulullah. In front of his friends, he said, I like Aisha the most. He said, no, we're not talking about the wives. We all love our wives. We're talking about your friends, your male friends. So he said, Abuha, her father. He could have said what? What is his father's name? What is the name of the father of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha? Abu Bakr. He could have said my best friend is what? Abu Bakr. But he said Abuha, her father. Even when it comes to the father, he is linking that relationship to her father. And then he was a bit disappointed. He said, who comes next? And he said, Umar. And then he said, who comes next? He kept on asking until he got the point. He understood the point. Amr bin al-As, he became a Muslim in the 7th year of Hijrah. 7th year of Hijrah. And Prophet died in which year of Hijrah? Does anyone remember? 10th year of Hijrah. So just 3 years before the demise of Rasulullah, he became Prophet. Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, Ali, they became Prophet way before. They made a lot more sacrifices. So he can never reach their level, obviously. He's not in one of the top 10 lists. He's not in that list. So obviously he's not the best friend of Rasulullah. But the point is, he is a recent convert and he thinks I'm the most special person to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It tells you the treatment of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the people. That's how he used to deal with the people. That every single person used to think, he likes me the most. You know what is the biggest challenge for me in this mosque? What is the biggest challenge? This is the biggest challenge. Then nobody should think that I'm taking their side. Nobody should think that I'm taking the side of a particular group in the mosque. I'm being more Pakistani, or I'm being more Arab, or I'm being more Bangladeshi, or I'm being more Turkish. Nobody should think like that. Look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even before Islam, every tribe is happy. Every tribe is thinking, he's going to choose me. He's going to choose our tribe. And then we all know what happened. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in. They all are waiting for the decision of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, bring me an izar, an upper garment. Bring me an izar. He brought them an izar, a sheet. And then he put the stone in the sheet himself. He put the stone in the sheet. And he said, let all the tribes, all the sub-tribes, send their representatives. Send your guide. Send your chieftain. And we all will lift that sheet together. And we all will put it together. So all of these tribes, they send their chieftain, they send their representative. And then they all lifted the Hajr Aswad, the black stone, together. And alhamdulillah, this tribe of Abu Jahl, they fulfilled their promise. They didn't break their promise. They lifted Hajr Aswad. So they fulfilled their promise. There was no bloodshed. So they all lifted the Hajr Aswad together, the black stone together. And then Prophet ﷺ placed that black stone in Kaaba. And that's how, alhamdulillah, it all happened. One last discussion about the structure of the Kaaba and how it changed. That will happen inshallah in our next session. And then inshallah we'll be done. We'll start the first revelation that came to Rasulullah ﷺ. How all these things happen. And then the stories will become more interesting and will become more intense inshallah. So hopefully you enjoyed this session. Hopefully you keep participating in that session. Consistency is the key, my brothers here. You miss one of the sessions, probably you won't be able to understand the next session. So be consistent. Try to make time. If Tuesday doesn't suit you, come back to me and tell me. We will choose some other day. It doesn't have to be Tuesday. We'll choose other day. I took more time because I have to give you this recap. But inshallah from tomorrow or from the next session, it will only be for 15 minutes. Don't worry about it. You can clock me. You can actually time me. 5 minutes. Even though Haji Mursa, throughout the whole session, he was sleeping, snoring in front of me. But that's why. Jazakumullah khair.